George is not a huge fan of me. Uh,
Recently, he partnered with Ted Hoyer, rowing Blazers, and Eric Wen on a Carrera yacht timer, which George is actually wearing, thankfully, and has collaborated on watches in the past with Mr. Porter, designer Black Badger, and worldwide watch enthusiast Ruth Redbar. George will be defending the side of customizing watches. Please give George a round of applause. So we are about to start. I'm going to throw the first question to you, dear George, because you said you were more nervous. So.
Oh no, I really, really am nervous. I'm like my hand. Oh my god.
It's going to be fine, guys.
I'm
right?
really,
It's going to be
I'm
good.
really kind of like. This is Nick. You see the
No
introduction
pressure.
of Nick, and then there's George. It's kind of like,
They forgot to say they could buy a used Australian off you, and also.
Oh my God! Don't get started on that first question with
And
George.
also.
oh.
You were quoted in an article for the English Cut as saying that conforming is boring, which is part of the reason you have the idea to customize the timepiece for yourself in the first place. Is this a characteristic you apply to other aspects of your life aside from watches, cars, clothing, and if so, what would you say you most customize?
Yes. So I saying conforming is boring. It's more about being individuality or individual for yourself. And you know, if I look at everyone here, they've got their own different style, they've got their own different way of wearing a watch or even strap packing. And so for me, that's where I look on this. Yes, I do have other things in my world that I've customized. Of course I have. Cars, yes.
Jackets, like
jackets, no, but it's also the other thing. So I was very lucky. I did a project with Bentley a few years ago, and we did a full Mulsanne, and we did a cashmere interior that was absolutely amazing because I found an article that the Queen used to have a cloth interior. So that was why. So for me, on everything in my life, I love. You know, if I have to, you know, say, hey, you need customization, you need to have something individual in your life, I do. I mean, you know, just because I'm saying this, I've got music, but I mean, even my headphones are customized. because for me, I love the whole thing of just something that says, okay, it's a delight to see because I've gone, oh, I like this, I like that, and that's where I sit on it. So that's kind of where I would be on customization. Yes, I think it is something, you look at how people do shoes or anything else in life. I mean, Nike ID is loving me at the moment because I keep on doing more and more Nikes because that's my thing. But then, you look at Nick, suit, personalized. It's Nick's style all in one suit. So, the same with this. It's saying this is what I want to project to the world.
It's a great answer. Nick, you have 3 minutes to respond.
I agree completely with what the other caller said.
Yes!
But that said, I think the thing about the fabric is interesting because it used to, he has West of England cloth in the back of the State Bentley, and it used to be that only the chauffeur would have leather because he would be outside in the Sedanka coupe, and then the inside would be with the owner in cloth. Customization. I have many things made for me, but it's when customization becomes the norm that I want to kind of avoid customization. Do you see what I mean? I mean, I agree. I don't agree that normal is boring. I mean, I think that it's about appreciation of quality. Just a gimmick for the sake of being different for the sake of it is actually a pretty hollow and empty gesture. And I mean, what's interesting about what George does.
So in other words, if everything is customized, then nothing is customized?
Correct, because it's just all the same banality you're being sold. Hey, I'm going to demonstrate my individual having red soles on my shoes, and then suddenly, what do you know? He's got red soles on his shoes. No, but I mean, I forget. I mean, I've got coloured whatever papers picked up. But I mean, I think that it's got to be done judiciously, and that's what's interesting about what George has done with his business, is that he started off as a sort of pirate, and he's the sort of poacher turned gamekeeper in that he's actually become the official customized partner, and I think that that's the difference. I think it's to be done within the parameters of what, I mean, there are a lot of Cartier limited editions out there and personalized editions, but Cartier in the end has to say on what is Cartier and what isn't Cartier. And I think that that's when it gets a bit out of hand, is when the brand has no say. So why buy a brand? I mean, why buy a beautiful Patek Philippe and then have Artisan de Genève take the dial off and skeletonize the movement for you? Why not buy something that actually, that's what they're about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that segues into my next question, which is going to go to you.
Oh, so we're answering all the questions at once. Have I had my 3 minutes yet? I can carry on talking.
No, you have another 40 seconds.
Really? 41 seconds, or 42 seconds, or 39 seconds?
You can keep going, or we can come back to
George, you definitely want to come back on some of my points.
Well, do you know, firstly, I'm wearing red soles on my shoes. So,
I didn't know that.
So thank you, Nick, for just kind of, but I agree, and I think to myself on personalization and individuality, I think it is, if I'm walking the walk and saying to people, I agree with actually making something that is a pleasure for you, and that's where what I'm saying to you is like materials, the cloth, the cloth of the interior. It was, and you'll correct me, it was all about not making the clothes shiny, but it was also in the summer it was cold, and in the winter it was hot, and it was this wonderful cloth interior on a car. And I'm harking to that, but it is also things like, if you look at a watch, you look down at it on every day, and it has to be that light, it has to be something that makes you smile, or or it becomes just an object that you don't kind of connect with. And these are totem poles.
But what do you think about Nick's point of if everything became bespoke
Yes and no. I think one side of me says to you, I totally agree with you about it, but then I think to myself, is most of my world, at home, or you do an interior design, it's your style, it's what you're projecting. Even automotive or watches or anything that is in your world, you want to just kind of have something that it projects you. So I would say yes, but then I would say to you, I do buy limited editions. I do buy.
That's very gracious of you, I think, to bestow your patronage upon these limited editions.
But what I'm saying to you is I love when someone is doing something personalised or done their take on something.
Okay.
Then for me, my world is not fully personalised, it's their take on the world. I love that, like Nick's take on the world. I love everything. You've told those books, they're my Bibles.
Yeah.
They are my Bibles. So the cigar,
I'm going to let him have his 1 minute. That's part of the debate.
I forgot, I'm so old, I've forgotten what the question was.
Right.
But let's say that I agree totally with what George is saying, but with reservations. I mean, I think, you could let a chimpanzee choose some custom things, but it probably wouldn't look as good as if George actually guided you through it. So I think that it needs to be done. I mean, I think the biggest crime is one of these things where you go in and there's a sort of selector, and you can select your own product, and it looks like something made by Homer Simpson. Do you remember when Homer Simpson made the perfect car?
Yeah.
There's a bit of everything. And I mean, that is like where customization gets you in the end, it's the Homer Simpson car.
Nick, I love that you're watching Homer Simpson. That's even cooler.
I am a master, and I'll speak to you in Latin in a minute. I'm a master of both the high and the low and the middle brow.
That's what scares me now. Okay, well, the second question is going to take it to you, Mr. Falls. Which watch model or models do you feel should never be customized, as it would be sacrilegious to do so?
Rolex, Patek, Rexha. I mean, all the good stuff, basically, because they know what they're doing. It's difficult. I mean, it's very difficult because people have custom Rolexes, but I think you've got to do it in something. If you're buying a brand, which you are, and I mean, I think that's a good thing if you're buying a brand, because you feel it already speaks to you in a certain way. So why go out for a Chinese supper and say, I want to eat pizza, please? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like saying, could you customize this Chinese meal until it looks like and tastes like a pizza for me? I wouldn't do that unless it's a terrible Chinese restaurant and it needs help. And then I'd say, turn it into an Italian restaurant because it'd be much better. And why do spaghetti? Why not do noodles? Why do noodles? Why not do spaghetti meatballs?
Is that your final say?
I don't think it's an answer at all. I don't think it's even a point to be argued.
I think George could argue this.
No, George couldn't argue that. He couldn't argue that. I mean, I've lost track of what I'm saying, but I think that nothing is sacred, and yet everything is sacred.
George, I know you feel differently, buddy.
Yeah. So
do we have a debate? This is what I want to
Yeah, this is what you wanted. You wanted the British debate, but really, I'm like, have you seen our politicians? I'm like, come on. But look, what I would say on that side is, I think the need for some of those brands on the personalization that happened and happens, and I think it is about this difference. Because when you turn up with the same watch to, let's say this event, I've been looking at everyone's wrist. They've got some amazing watches on their wrists, different things, great straps, great. They've already hacked the watch already. And that for me is something I love about this individuality. You go, oh wow, I want to see that. But most of the brands, Rexha is different, but most of the brands, you've seen it before. It's almost like, I've watched a few people and they're just like, oh yeah, I've seen that, walk on. I saw an MBF and I was just like, that is unreal. So for me, on something like that, personalization, I don't think, they're already offering it personalization, but you look at something like that, or something like, I don't know, that the new Piaget black tie. Personalization is already happening in that. That's giving someone an individuality.
They had a personalizator or whatever in the 1960s.
No,
they did that for women's watches. I mean, the thing with the I think whichever one it was it the 9P, the very slim caliber, that enabled them to make the dials just thick enough so they could accommodate a hard stone dial on the top, and that's where that came from. So I mean, it's within the parameters of the brand. The brand was making slim movements so precise as they could cut the stone just thick enough so it wouldn't break, to use it to put it on top of the dial. So I mean, I think the nature of the brand opened itself up to this customization. So you give the customer the illusion of choice, whereas actually they're following your mandate for them. It's like God. You believe in God. I'm not sure, but I probably. But even though he knows that I don't necessarily believe in him, that's kind of part of his plan. Do you know what I mean? So it's like living in the Truman Show mixed with Matrix, basically.
So I'm going to go question 2A here. You heard him say, when I asked him, what brands should we touch? And he said Rolex. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a customized Rolex?
Do I what?
Do you have a customized Rolex? One that you customize for yourself?
No, he doesn't.
No, I used to.
No, he never customized Rolexes ever.
Because I read something.
No, you've misread that. That's just fake news.
But wait. But what I'm going to come back to Nick on is, if you think of the Arab diets, the
exactly within the parameters of the brand. I mean, Bahrain, and the putting the diamonds on the bracelet.
So they did personalization. So for me, individuality happened throughout the history of that brand. So then you say we shouldn't be looking at that.
We shouldn't. They should.
Okay, so then it's that scenario on that other side of saying, hey, that's what people are wanting, or that's what I believe people want.
We allow them. They know better than us. They're Rolex. They know better than us.
Well,
they know better than
brands
all of us.
Brands are bigger than the individual. But I would say is that's kind of, yeah. I would probably, yeah. They know what they're doing, but they're also producing a product that has to be produced at that 100% that it's doing.
But which is what's interesting about what you do, is that you take that weight off the brand because you are an expert in customization. So I would feel safe in your hands because you've been mandated by Tag Heuer, for example, to run their personalization program because they understand that's what you do and you do better than they can. And they don't want it. They're making 700 or 600 or 400 or 3 watches a year or whatever it is. It's a big number. They don't want to interrupt production for a limited series of 200 pieces.
But it's the same with the automotive industry. But you're totally right. But it's also time frame. You know, for any watch manufacturer, I don't know some of the smaller or more independent brands, but it is a long period of time to do personalization. For us, it's 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm not toting my time frame, but it is that type of scenario.
But you're doing it for the modern world. Because you mentioned training shoes. I have training shoes, but I don't have them bespoke or personalised. But I presume that this is done within a framework that suits the kind of internet generation that it's sort of delivered to you within a couple of weeks rather than 2 years.
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks for me means that people are still thinking about it in their mind. They're still going, I can't wait for that product.
And that was used to be the big beef about the trade fairs, is you'd see stuff, and then 3 years later it'd be launched, and you'd feel a real sense of deja vu, which is an argument in favour of customization. I just realised I've got a customized Royal Oak with from about 25 years ago with my name chiseled out of the oscillating weight. I just remembered that. That's customization.
Show me that. Wow.
I am going to go ahead and get this third question asked to you as well, Nick. So it's been proven that customizations, and I'll say bespoke type of customizations, not manufactured by the watch brand themselves, can devalue a timepiece. But in your mind, are there any instances where a customization, again, not done by the brand, could add a tremendous amount of value down the road, such as at a future auction?
That's about provenance. If Andy Warhol did it, it would be worth a lot of money. If I did it, it would be worth shit. So I mean, there's your answer. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's an easy one. If it's by somebody whose opinion you actually trust on these matters.
What if it was by George?
Yeah, of course, George. I love George. And he's the official customizing partner for all sorts of brands, and probably available to take on extra business. If any of you in the audience want some customization done on your brands, he's available later.
I haven't got my business cards on me yet, but
I'll give you his details.
Okay.
George, do you want to respond to this? We do have some time to let you.
Look, I would say to you is quite a lot of our pieces have come up, or they've been coming up at different auctions. As I said to you, I had a little bit of an issue earlier this week. We launched a watch, and it already went on eBay for a lot more money than what it was worth. Now that was the instant pop, that was the flippers idea. But at auction, watches, it is about the limited editions or these things with provenance of, as Nick said, you know, I know that, you know, I look at something like this riding blazer, we're not going to be doing this colorway ever again. We're not going to be, the Tima Gazara that we did earlier this year with Tag Heuer, we designed the whole thing, and I'm not promoting myself, so my business card isn't.
Allow me to promote you, George.
Okay.
That was a work of genius. And I mean, what you do, also you animate, we're talking about the automotive industry, end of lines, you animated the end of line. That, which was the titanium watch you did a couple of years ago? For,
the Aqua Racer.
that was the most beautiful iteration of the Aqua Racer, and to me it overshadowed the new one. I mean, it shows the value that proper customization can bring, because it's done in a way so it's like a kind of micro range within the range, rather than, I mean, take those slightly controversial swatches. If a plastic maker of watches had come out with something with Blancpain or Omega written on the dial, they would have had the legal department all over them. But because they do it within themselves, it becomes a thing. And so I'm not saying that customization is a bad thing. I'm just saying that you need guidance. I mean, there's a reason most people going into a tailor shop, they're shown a bit of cloth about I don't know, this big, and they say, imagine a three-piece suit in that, and your mind goes off. I mean, I've had one or two suits made, so I probably know my way around a tailor's bunch. But often people say, what should I have? I said, well, how many, you know, how long have you got? You know, it's you're opening up a sort of Pandora's box and a can of worms and another cliche that demonstrates there's a lot of stuff inside there that could happen, and you need a sort of guide, you need a Virgil or something like that to take you through it.
Just so the audience knows, he referenced the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer. Were you working with Tag Heuer? Just because I'm actually not sure. Did you work with Tag Heuer on that, or was that something you just did on your own?
No.
So the Aqua Racer was a while ago.
No, but the Monaco, the carbon Monaco,
Okay.
I was very, very lucky to be working with. There has been so many people that have introduced me to him. Jean-Claude Biver, and he is here. He is the absolute. I mean, he is the god of the watches, and someone that really, for me, I look up to. But Nick introduced me to him, and it was one of those things. The Monaco is the other one, so I can reference that. That we should have done in bigger numbers. We should have done more of it, or it should have been a higher price point. But that was, you know, the point. But that piece now is going for more online, or was going for more. I haven't checked for a while. But what I would say to you is, yes, I've been working with Tag Heuer and Zenith for the last 7 years or 8 years.
So the watches on your website now, the Zenith watch, that's all with their approval?
Yes, and also I do bespoke inside their own boutiques as well.
Okay.
And you do Girard Perregaux, and you do
Chopard,
Bulgari, Chopard. There's probably quite a list of ones you don't do, actually.
No,
Patek
it's
and Rolex.
Rexha.
And Rexha. The rest.
Rexha, that's amazing. Anyway.
Oh, so I think we've made the point that Rexha's pretty good at what he's doing.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty much so. All right, well, George, this next question is going to go to you.
I'm scared.
What watch model would you consider to be your holy grail if you could get your hands on it to customize, and how exactly would you change it?
I'm trying to see if George Kern's in the building. Brightly Maritime, and the reason why I'd say that to you is because it was the first ever watch that I took to pieces when I was a little kid, and my parents, what would I best describe it, my parents gave it to me because they knew it would take up a bit of time for me to kind of take it to bits and put it back together. And I think it was kind of, I got given it for Christmas. My parents bought it for £300 or £200, so not a huge amount back in the day. It was in 1995, so I'm showing my age. But I used to take everything to bits at home. So what I mean is juicers, televisions. I wanted to work out how it worked. And the reason why I did that was because I'm dyslexic, so I'm not the biggest reader, I'm not the biggest writer, so I learn with my hands. So I learn on engines, and I learn how to take things to bits. Not always putting it back together. I will say to you is that Breitling Maritime has been back to Breitling probably about 10, 15 times, and this during COVID, I was teaching my son how to, and I used the same watch. But I had a penknife and a glass of screwdriver and a pair of, I can't remember, anyway, it was very rudimental, on a towel in my bedroom. So that was kind of, and there was a few bits still
The
left.
custom ones are actually made properly, I hasten to add, in a workshop without a towel and with tools.
No, yes, and my watchmakers still take the piss out of me on this. Because
I've seen that watch, it's still in pieces 40 years later.
Well, no, it has been back to Breitling. They put another glass dome on it. I did break the glass dome.
Of course you did, with the towel.
Well,
and I love that that's the story, because you have that, again, I mean, that's your history. That's sort of was whatever flicked in your head that you felt like this is something I potentially would like to do.
It was the light bulb moment.
Okay.
And the other thing is, so when you see here, I was very lucky, thank you, Nick, for GPHG, but we voted on a clock that you make yourself. And for me, that brought me back to my childhood and said, boom, that's what I want. And I wished it was out during COVID, because I would have been like, I would have stacked them up like this and gone, hey, because I think that is this idea of something that you go, oh my God, I want to understand more about that world.
But the second part of that question was, how would you change?
Can I just answer the question on George's behalf? I think what he means when he says that he would like to do an Navitimer is that he would actually like to have a go at the IWC engineer. I think that's what you meant to say, George. I mean, I know you get a bit mixed up with the words sometimes, so I think that's actually what you meant. Very similar pricing, IWC, it sounds the same, George Kern, I mean, it's easily mistaken. Because I think that you would do a bang-up job with the engineer, and I tell you why. Because that watch, designed by a great man, as we know, but also has been in and out of production. So in a way, that kind of bloodline has been severed. So while I would not necessarily advocate that you take a towel to a Patek Nautilus or something like that. No, you're really not. The towel manufacturing, I think you might have some towels to sell you if you want as well later.
I think Balenciaga has done something to the towel.
But I think, actually, that's a thought. Custom towels. Let's come back to that. No, but I genuinely think that you would do a smashing job with that watch, because what you did with that Accuracy, and I mean, just with new materials, not new materials, but different materials, and this is where you need taste. I mean, taste is both a subjective and an absolute quality. I mean, it's like bad taste is sort of that looks like the Eiffel Tower because it doesn't need to look like the Eiffel Tower. Do you know what I mean? So it's technically bad taste. I probably have one because it's kitsch and I've got no taste. But I don't do this with stuffed crocodile on it as well. But I think that engineer could. I think what you would do with that would be fascinating, because you've had this great experience now across all sorts of different brands. That to tackle a masterpiece, but a masterpiece that has already. It's not. It's. Do you know what I mean? There's been enough of a disconnect from the original for you to step in and, you know, do something.
Nick, I'm purely humbled. I really am humbled.
Oh, don't be so English.
No, but I am. Look, I would say to you.
I'm very grateful that you're saying you're humbled, because I'm humbled by your humility.
No, but I'd also say to you, I absolutely love the engineer, and it is one of those.
I agree with you totally on all points.
I agree with you totally. I know.
Barbara's having her work done out here, and she can't see. She had her eyes replaced. I'm telling you, it all starts at this age. I had my corneas grafted, by the way, so I know what it's like. But anyway, back to agreeing with each other, George.
Definitely, I agree with you.
Can you please answer the second part of my question? What change would you make to the Navitimer?
Oh.
How would you customize it?
That's the thing is, I haven't even opened up that Pandora's box yet, because unless I'm allowed to.
Ten of worms. We've got to think of some more cliches. I've already used Pandora. What would be? You're the queen of these things.
I can't see, so I'm not.
They can't see, of course.
So it's affecting my hair.
Look, honestly, when I look at it, firstly, what Nick says about the engineer, when it came out, I was like, hell yes. The new engineer came out, and I was like, this is absolutely amazing. So for me, on that, I was like, when Nick said that, I was like, what, really? The Breitling Navitimer, I love the Breitling Navitimer. I love the different iterations of it. But I don't know. That's where
Like a 4-day dial.
No, but the thing is, when you look at new materials, you look at where things could go.
Right.
You also look at where product is going at the moment. You know, you look at the Navitimer, it is such a kind of a kick-ass watch because it's one of the icons.
I would be more reticent about letting you loose on the Navitimer.
I knew.
Because it's a thing. Do you know what I mean? But I think also you have. Well, I've written an article, I think it's in tomorrow's Financial Times, about the Dubai editions, and there's some genuinely inventive things. I mean, it's not just the Hindi Arabic numerals. I mean, there is a Hublot with some calligraphy on it, that is calligraphy that is coloured, but is also superluminova. Now, that is imaginative, it's interesting, and it's also within the kind of purview of what I see Hublot as, because Hublot is a brand of limited edition, but limited in a good way, not in the way that Panerai used to be a brand of limited editions that were more numerous than the actual main production. Limited edition of as many as you could sell, and then a few thousand more. But that is something that it is, you know, it's not actually customizing it, because it's a customization brand almost, you know. So it's a more nuanced question than you're trying to make this kind of, you're trying to make this into a sort of Punch and Judy show, and actually.
I'm only doing what I'm asked to do, which is moderate a debate.
But the thing is, like, until you get into a design or a design process, you know, the thing is, for me, it's even like music, the whole thing, you know, it becomes part and parcel. It's like, how does the advertising look for it? So for me, that's what.
And the box, you do great boxes.
No, but I love packaging, because I think for myself is, there's a saying that I've been saying multiple times since I've been in Japan. It was the only thing I learned in Japan. It was doki doki. And that is...
Is that when they do clothes for pets, and they do little brands for doggy doggy?
No, this is about, and I think everyone will probably connect with this, is when you see something, an inanimate object, or something that you fall in love with, and you go, my God, I need that. I used to always say, it's got to want to steal it. But I think in this modern day, when living in London, you don't say that anymore. So it's doki doki, is this idea of your heart beating a bit faster into the, I want that in my life. And so that's, for me, where I look at something like this, is how do we create that doki doki on anything? How do we create that kind of atmosphere that then you go, oh, wow, I love that.
Well, I'm going to kick a fifth question to you.
No.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the answer to this one. Have you ever turned a customer away because you felt the changes they wanted to make to their watch were just too insane for you to do?
Yes, multiple times.
Very good, very glad to hear it.
Please explain.
But I'm going to explain one thing. And I had a very great customer of mine, wasn't at the beginning, and he wanted two colours. It was this wonderful bright pink and our band black or blue on the dial of the watch. And it just did, it was one of those things where I went, it didn't work together. And I kept on going back to him, and I was like, and at the point he just went,
It's pink and blue.
no, okay, well. Anyway.
It was great on a suit but wrong on a watch, and that's what George means. I mean, you could eat some components and you could puke a better watch. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, so this is the interesting thing. So I went to him and I kept on saying, hey, and at the point I heard him on the phone, he just slammed his hand on the thing and said, make my effing watch. And I was just like, oh my, okay, fine.
No, because I can sell you a used Australian
no,
one.
so I did the watch for him, and I showed it to him, and when he arrived in, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? And he gave me his business card, and one side was pink, one side was blue. And I went, okay, and he said to me, he said, you could have a photograph of this watch on your wall, just to know that the customer is always right. Now, there is sometimes where I don't agree. There has been one or two people's faces that shouldn't be on a watch. There's been some other things that people have been in certain ways, or in different, maybe narcotics that I was like, no way, you know, I think there were certain things that I would never put on a watch. And so there's always one of those things where I'm like, going, no. And the other thing is, with, you know, the brands that I work with, it is very much, you know, we show them what we're doing. So there is not this whole thing of like, oh, you know, they know, they're part and parcel of what we're doing. So we don't cross over their colorways, we don't cross over their designs. So there is quite a lot of toing and froing is probably the easiest way, but I do say no to certain people.
Right.
But yeah, there was also someone's dog that wanted to go on a dial that I just went, that just, it just, and you know, so we put it on the back. You did a wonderful engraving on the back. No, well, I do put Snoopy on the dial, so I like Snoopy.
Yeah.
So for me, I like a dog on the dial, but just didn't work. It was, and also it was one of those that probably would have turned up as, you know, it had kind
Do you
of.
think this tainted your reputation if that was posted on like social media somewhere? If you did do, let's say,
No,
on the dial or
not
something?
at all. It's more, I just don't, sometimes I go, it doesn't work. And, or I just go, it
But
just,
is that not opinion?
This is the customer. When the customer said, I'm right, there is sometimes when you go, yes, I'm right. But you know, as Nick just said about swatches for suits and things like, you know, I like this. When I first saw it, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is a bit kind of, and then I was like, actually, no, I love this colorway. But it took me probably the whole of the summer to really get into, actually, I love this. Where I love just single seersuckers. So that's what I'm saying to you is sometimes and you know, the customer is always right. You know, I have,
Except when they're wrong.
yeah, I have a card that says you can get on without us, we can't get on without you. And that is one of the big things, is we have to offer certain things, and maybe there is navigation through this pink and aqua blue. It's still not the one I love, but I did have a photograph in my office of it purposely, and it's actually opposite my desk, just to prove
You
that.
put it on the wall when the guy comes round and then sort of just turn it
No.
over.
It sits. There's a in my office, and that most people don't see in my office, but it's got all of our clients on the wall, and and this photograph is there because it says this is what is part and parcel.
Nick, would you like to respond to
I
that?
agree totally with everything he said, but what I mean, I think what it comes down to is experience
Do you
and
think
guidance.
he's right in turning
Yes, of
people
course he's
away?
right. Or wrong, I mean, whatever you want, but I mean, I think he's right. George is pretty much always right, because it's essentially what George does. And I mean, if he thinks it's like if I went to my tailor and said I wanted double but single-breasted, I wanted 5 but 6 buttons here, and then 7 buttons here, and then maybe this leg made into a pair of shorts, and this leg is made into a pair of flares. He'd say, probably not. You know, I mean, and I have said that. I went in with exactly that request only last week, and he said, he turned me down. I mean, and he'd be sensible to do so, because I'd be walking around and people would say, who's your tailor? And I give them a name and they said, well, he's crap. Because he'd let you walk out looking like a complete tool. Now, I mean, I can do that without my tailor's help, by the way.
Definitely not Vic.
George?
Look,
You agree?
I totally agree. I totally and utterly agree. But I will also say is we did things that, you know, were unreal because they were this thing about bespoke. It's those things that I'm very lucky with the projects that we've got to do, and that's the other side. This other side to it is, you know, the tailor. Every time that Nick, or I hope not me, but when Nick comes, they're just like, this is going to be amazing, because he's going to ask for something that's going to push that boundary, you know, or go back in history and find a unique cloth. And that's what I love, is I love this discovery.
Well done. All right.
You need experience. It's about, I mean, you're at the top of your game because you've been doing this for 20 odd years. You started off painting stripes onto iPods.
Yes.
And let's tell you how the iPod, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, was a device that looked like an iPod telephone but only played music.
I love those days. Yeah, we worked with an amazing brand. We did customization of iPods. I mean, that was kind of my, you know, yes, 20 years ago. I guess.
More.
No, I'm not. But the thing is, what's happened is longevity. You know, someone said to me, if your life was in reverse, could you imagine the grief that you would have and all the things that would be behind you because of the sorrows and all the things that, and you'd come all the way through to, and I think when you're growing older, the scars internally and externally, for me, but it's also the knowledge of kind of understanding, as you said, knowledge. That for me is one of the greatest things ahead of us, is the knowledge that we've got behind us. and taken me to this point right now.
That's
I'm not
quite
going to
that,
take a meaningful.
journalists in the room.
The
quite
knowledge
that.
that is behind us is in front of us and also to the left and to the right.
Well,
Up and down,
Nick, you are to
above
my
and
left.
below us. No, I mean, I do think it's about, you know what works and what doesn't work by now. Without, and I mean, if somebody needs to ask you why it doesn't work, you can actually say F off. I mean, I would, you probably wouldn't. Because I've got less time left than you, so I've got to get my skates on a bit. So if I say they need an explanation, I say go and find somebody else. You know, if you want what I do, I'm here to do it. But there's a reason why I don't do the other stuff. Probably because either I can't do it as well, or I don't like doing it, or I don't think it would suit. I think it would be wrong. And I mean, I think that people can come to you with confidence because you do turn people down if it's the wrong thing. It'll make them look bad, it'll make you look bad, it will make also the watch look bad. And the idea of customization is that the watch should look better, it should mean more, rather than being a laughing stock.
Nick, I totally agree. The other thing is, I've got to blame Nick for quite a few things. One of them is my weird and wonderful obsession with weird and wonderful watches is because of Nick. He has taken me on an amazing. This is the thing, is that when throughout my life I've had, Nick has been a part of my life for the 20 years almost. I mean, the first time we met, and he's, every time I'm like this magpie. I look at his watches, I look at his rings, I look at, and it is one of those things that I look at it and think, you know, we don't all have to be the same. And going back to your original question of you know, about this individuality and is it a good thing or a bad thing? For me, I look at it and I think we're individuals and we want to project that.
It's an inevitability. Being individuality is inevitable. I mean, if you look around the room, it is inevitable. And I think that can be expressed, because one of the things about the old watches that I like, and the old watches that I put you onto, is that if you look long enough, you'll probably find what you had in mind anyway. Someone will have done it already. So I think it's not something that, it's an arrogance of us that we think that we know better because we're living in 2023. Well, somebody could have done it already in 1973 or in 1873 or 1773. I mean, like that Van Cleef, not this year, last year. You remember the one with the birds clattering around? That was the kind of object that they would have had in sort of Byzantine court, and it was
mesmerizing.
And they weren't pretending it was anything new, but they were just, people were blown away by something that was effectively the kind of object that would have been a status conferring piece in 500 years ago.
I love that. Last question is going to go to Nick, and then we'll have about 10 minutes left to open up the floor for Q&A. Mr. Fultz, has George ever customized a watch for you? And if not, would you ever let him work his magic on one of your existing timepieces?
He customized a watch for me. I was very young at the time, and I really didn't know what I was doing, and I was lost. It was a period in my life, ladies and gentlemen, that I don't like to allude to now, but it was when I needed the guidance of a man who could also sell me a tractor in a used Australia. No, he has, and he did, and to be fair, it is actually something that I'm still very proud of, because it was the Monza in gold, and it's already, I love cushion cases. I mean, I love the Patek 5020, it's my dream watch, but I'm never going to be able to afford the 5020. So a cushion case watch by a known maker, but I felt it could have been improved on the dial, and I felt that improvement would have been a brown dial, because I've seen a brown dial 5020, and that's what I mean about it, but it's not a kind of attempt to have a 5020. It's a Monza which is different. So yes, is the short answer. That was the longer answer I gave you before.
No, I'm glad you explained which one it was. Do you?
Well,
How long ago generally
I
did you
love that
do
watch
that?
because, to the point, when you did that watch, it was another, because it came with this wonderful silvery gold dial, and it was one of those, or champagne dial, and it just, with that chocolate dial, it made me go out and buy another gold Monza, and now it's on my wife's wrist, because it is one of those things. You inspired me on that. You did a fully individual. I had to do something different, of course, but it is one of those watches that the Monza is such an amazing thing, and so doing that, I remember that project. I remember going through with you on what you wanted and how you wanted it, and I was literally, I was in the back seat of the car following you. It was just amazing because you said, this is what I want, this is how, and it was amazing because that for me is what I talked about, you know, looking back, and that informed me of where I go. You know, I would love to see, I think the watches that Nick has in his collection, honestly, I wouldn't touch one of them. But what I would love to do, and I'd love to see at some point, could you imagine Nick's collection? You know, today, it could have gone other watches. It would just be amazing, because you think about colors, you think about design, you think about cloth materials, all those things to come about. You know, the watches that we get to, I mean, that was one of the most magical things is at GPHG, picking these watches up, feeling them, touching them, and seeing the depths of these dials, and it was inspirational. And I would imagine, you know, Nick and I together, it would be magic, it would be amazing. But anyway, that's a side.
It would be good. But I mean, I think it comes from knowing what you're doing, George, and you happily enough know what you're doing. But there's some people who just think that to black it up and cut a bit out the middle is enough, and it isn't really.
Thank you, Nick. Wow.
Well, let's give them a round of applause before we open up the story. That was really good,
And to give you a round of applause for doing such a sterling job at making it work.
I can't see, but
And also, I'm sorry we didn't argue as well. I know you were like, hey, I want the punch and juice, and I was like,
I never said that. I just said it's a debate.
Exact words. You say, I want there to be punch and Judy and blood. Those were exact words.
Well,
So
yeah,
what
we
do
have
we
to
do?
have that
You're
now.
gonna put your head on
Do you want
my
me to go
shoulder
debate
and
tomorrow?
I'm
Maybe
gonna tilt the
that'll
camera
work.
and say, hey, look at this.
Show of hands if
Here
anybody
comes
has
Stylish Watches,
gentleman
fell
behind
asleep.
Miguel.
No, don't do that.
And I'm sorry, I cannot see. Sorry.
I have a question for George. I'm a big fan of About F and Time. So my question is, do you see watch customization going in the direction of automobile customization, where you can take a Mercedes, give it to Brabus, and then they up the horsepower, they change the exhaust, they make it in a way what it was not beginning from the factory? So could I bring a Rolex to you and say put a tourbillon in it, or can you add complications?
I understand what you're saying. I don't customize the movements because that's the heart of the watch. I believe that when you look at the heart, it's one of those things. It's a ticking thing. I do external. I do internal on the dial, hands, and customization on that. That for me is my world. I think adding those movements to it. I don't know. It's just how I feel. I don't do it. It's not my wheelhouse. It's also, you have to be a master in that field. If you're going to say tourbillons, you look at the masters here on movements. There is amazing movements that are just mesmerizing. And I'm going, how do they do that? You look at, you know, Nick can say multiple movements on this, but that for me is something I wouldn't do, because I look at it. You're talking about Brabus. I totally love what Brabus does, but it is taking something that's a known entity, an engine, and adding more horsepower and more things to it. For me, adding tourbillons and things like that, it is very much, it's a master skill on that. I think I've got master skills, but that is not. It's also, I don't have the best on gem setting. I don't. So I know my wheelhouse that I sit in, because it's things that I know I love. So that's the personal touch. When we were saying things that I would say no to, if someone came to me and said, oh, I want to do this, I would talk to the brand, say, have you got the movement? Or I would talk to the company that makes the movement, and I would say, can you make something for us? And then we maybe go through. Because I think to myself, is these movements are just, and they're bulletproof. Most brands' movements are bulletproof. So I hope that's answered your question.
It's a good question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You have another question?
James Downer.
Oh, okay.
Hello, James. Another person that feeds my addiction on weird watches.
He's debating tomorrow. You better
Oh
know.
no, but he does feed my addiction on watches. Do you want my mic? There we go.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Nick. But this question's for Bob.
Oh God.
Next year, when the Nicky and Georgie Baby Love Fest goes on the road to North of England working men's clubs, what's your role?
If you fly, I'm there, baby. You fly me out, I'll go. I'll go.
Do you live in the, I'm sure you have access to the North of England, don't you, George?
Where?
Okay. Miguel has been patiently waiting.
Hello? Yeah, oh, okay, but that's okay. So this is a subject I love. We could go on forever. But I've got a very interesting question for you, because you mentioned you wouldn't touch the movements. But actually you did to Hoyer chronograph, what Hoyer has been able to do, because they have this historic bicompax configuration, and now they have the movement with the small seconds at 6. So you changed it to make it more respectful of Hoyer's heritage. So I'd like you to tell me about it.
So that was with the support. So even on this, there's no date. And we're buying parts from their service team. We're going in with them. We're saying this is what we're deleting, this is what we're doing. We select, so it's a stem change on that, and it's an eradication of that. The date wheel, it was how, because when you put it out, we had to make sure that everything works. But it was with them. This is the great thing, is I have got a Goliath behind me, amazing brands. So you go and talk to their guys that love movements, and they will go, oh yeah, we designed it to do this. I'm like going, hell yeah. I didn't need to kind of like go, oh, you know, I want to do it. It's like, they're just like, hey, this is amazing. I mean, the new, and this is, and I will say, I'm obsessed with movement, but the new glass box movement, unreal. I mean, when you look at that movement, what it's got below it, you love strap hacking, I love strap hacking. That's a movement hacker. I mean, like literally, I can't wait to see what they're going to bring on that. So that for me is where I say to you is, with these brands behind me, you can make magic, but that's with them.
Yeah, but then they have the ghost small second counter, which is something that I hate. You're being more respectful towards the represent themselves. And I also would like you to share your experience, or former experience, when you used to customize Rolexes. How did you cope with Rolex pressure, and how did you go?
Well, that's a hard question. What I'd say is, it is absolutely amazing being up here on the stage, and I you know, it was actually someone said to me, said, you know, you can either be, you know, in the shade, or you can be in the sun. And it is a totally different scenario now. I stand here 8 years deep on, or 9 years and 8 years deep on where I am as a business. I would never have thought, you know, to be standing here. I'd never have thought to be standing next to Nick at GPHC. I'd never think of these things. And, you know, every time I think, wow. So you're saying the difference of before and after. I wouldn't say on any side. I would say I needed to, you know, the past is the past, but it takes me to standing right here today. So I never look back at it and go, oh my God, that was dreadful, or this was, you know, that's the roller coaster of life. But I'm standing right here today with two amazing people that I look up to, standing on stage with me next to me. That's, I can't, you know, that's an amazing thing. So that's the difference. Is that right?
2 more questions. Gentleman in the back.
And then there's the Mohican, wonderful man.
Thank you, George and Nick. Just in the future, do you see more Bamfords coming up? And would you encourage that, or is the watch industry as incentives? Are you guys happy with one Bamford, one customization partner for all of the brands? Or do you want more creativity to flow into this field? Not like a chimpanzee, you know, doing the customization, but somebody who knows his craft and, you know, getting along with the brands, or maybe at customer request as well.
What do you think?
I agree completely with what you're saying. So, no, I mean, I think it does. You're an overnight success. It's only taken you 25 years to get here. So, I don't. It's not something that you can just turn the key and start. It's about relationships, it's about a level of taste, it's about a level of also technical technical ability, technical feasibility, and I think you've got to understand what it is you're doing. I mean, if there are other customizers out there, and also you've got to go legitimate. I mean, I think that's George's big point, is that he was doing something before that wouldn't have enabled him to be part of the industry, and because he's part of the industry, he's able to get more done because he has access to more stuff. So there are other customizers out there, obviously, but they're operating sub rosa, and therefore it's always going to be something that isn't what you're doing.
So just kind of adding to that, would the industry then prefer to have, or are there interest barriers to entry in this case?
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask them. I've got no idea. I mean, I think it's often, if there is a supplier who's successful, there's probably a reason why that supplier is successful. And it might be a reason why there aren't any challengers that I know of at the moment. I mean, if they're doing a good enough job and if they can operate, I mean, it's like supplying, you know, springs or something like this. You become an expert in that. And I mean, I don't mean to demean what you say, but you are an industry supplier. And
I see the exact same. I totally agree. Just on that one thing, I would say to you is I think there will be, but the other thing is, I came to the reality probably about 8 years ago that I could be, and I used to be a photographer. So I used to study photography, that was my world. And the story about Kodak and the digital revolution, I was part of the digital revolution, so I'm really showing my age. But I always thought there was a point where Kodak, and we all know this, that you know, they were the digital camera operators. They were the gangsters of this you know, and that disappeared. And I just always think to myself is, the industry, the brands will do personalization, and there will be something there. We've already heard Piaget, 1965, Piaget doing personalization. A lot of brands do it. There's, you know, I know of a hell of a lot of brands that do it. So to bring that to the forefront, either I become obsolete or I have to kind of be a part of it. So I think that's where I sit on this, is, and I'm only as good as the thing that I'm producing today. And that's, so you have to up your game every single time. So I hope, you know, because there will always be something, the brands themselves are doing stuff. So that's my thing on that.
One last quick question, Mr. Bastien Frost.
Do I give you my, yeah, there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Anybody? Is this thing on? There we go. Nick, you talked about like the broader understanding of like a sense of style or a sense of taste and so on. Do you think that, like, the way you've been speaking, do you think that that broadly understood sense of taste supersedes personal happiness? Because when you talk about customization this way and someone wanting, you know, what many of us may do, is a horrible color combination, it's what they want, it's going to bring them joy, like, there's that
It's
one.
between bespeaking something and having a customized object. And I think if you're going for a customized object, which is what you do, you're already buying into there being an aspect, a fundamental aspect of that object that you actually already, a level of taste about it that you actually appreciate already. And then the customizer will interpret your desire for character on that piece and use that as a canvas from which to paint this sort of biographical sketch, if you like. The broader question of taste, I believe that there is an absolute quality in that it needs to be fitting, but essentially taste non est discutandum, de gustus non est discutandum. I mean, it's something that you can't actually, when it gets down to it, the argument becomes, I like it. And that's the, you know, if you had to have a debate like that, it'd be a very short debate. If I like it, well, I don't. Well, that's it. Okay, questions.
We're good? Thank you very much for coming. Thank you to our audience for helping.
Perfect, thank you.
Alright. Okay. So that was the little talk, guys. Alright, I don't know. Let's go outside. Let's show you guys around. What do you think? Yeah, that was tough. But, you know what? It's morning. Let's see. Alright. Alright guys, let me take you outside and show you what it looks like here. Whew. Oh, looks like they're fitting movements here together. That's pretty cool. Hey, all right, guys, we made it. We made it to Dubai. I gotta tell you, it's tough. It's really tough. It's hot weather. It has finally cooled down, so I figured, you know what? Let me do a stream. Figured I'll start with the thing. But now that the sun has set, let me show you guys around. Let's go say hello to the roommate, and I'll show you guys what they got here. I'm not gonna go into details today, but tomorrow. Oh, hello. Oh yeah, sure.
Everybody like and subscribe and super chat. This man must be extremely jet lagged. Good to see you, man.
Hey,
Take
thank
care.
you.
Take care.
What's your name?
Rashid. Nice to meet you.
Rashid. Hey, thank you.
Take care.
Hey. All right. So let me show you guys around this place. So, Rashid. There we go. We got the entrance here to the gate, as you can see. This is a massive building. The camera is not wide enough to actually pick up everything, but the whole watch show is in the middle of this building. This is where smaller brands are, but the other brands are on the periphery. So, for example, we got Tudor here. Tudor, I mean, we've already seen all the Tudors. No point of showing you. We got Christie's, a big booth. Christie has some watches here. They actually have Andy Warhol's paddock there. Let's see. I'm not sure Tudor is gonna have anything. All right, let's try not to fall down here. Christie's. All right, let's go say hi to the roommate, and then we're gonna decide what we're doing. All right. Hey. Oh, Audrey. Hello. I'm live. Hello, Audrey. How are you?
Hi, everyone.
Oh, we meet again.
Nice to see you. I like your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Are we live?
Yes, we are. It's weird. It's like super early over there. I love your fragrance.
Thank you so
Right.
much. Appreciate
Amazing.
that. How are you liking Dubai? Which week?
I'm only now, like the headache went away.
Ah, the jet lag is something.
Oh,
The
it
flight, yeah.
was.
Tell me about it.
Oh my god, it was bad. I don't know how you do it. You're
Yeah.
flying everywhere.
I just do it, you know. Have
You're
you
used to it.
Have you seen our booth yet?
Inside?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I walked by, but tomorrow I'm gonna do a whole show. I'm gonna go inside and show all the watches.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
You'll be there?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. By the way, what is this?
So this is the Bouvet Cafe.
Look at this, guys. We're at the Bouvet Cafe. Put on by you.
By Bouvet and me, yes. So we decided to collaborate this year with Home Bakery and create a little unique space here at Dubai Watch Week. So we created the Bouvet Cafe, and this is it. Have you tried our virtuoso desserts?
I'm going to.
You should. You should.
I had like 3 sparkling water.
Okay.
Oh.
So maybe it's time for the dessert.
Oh yeah. What do you guys think? Am I allowed to have dessert? I'm trying to watch
Well,
my
at some
way.
point during these next 4 days,
Yes.
you have to.
Yes.
It's a must.
I'm gonna be running around a lot, so hopefully I can earn a nice dessert.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Hey,
All right, Tim.
thank you for
I'll see you
saying
tomorrow.
hello. Yes, tomorrow,
Yeah.
100%.
Pleasure always.
Here's Audrey, everybody. Audrey.
Bye, Tim.
Yeah. Oh, roommate. Huh? What's happening? What happened? We have to go? What's going on? When is the thing?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock? What time is it right now? What time is it now? 5:30? Okay, so we have 20 minutes. So let me show them around. Just I'm gonna show what's happening here. I'm gonna come back. 20 minutes, guys. We got 20 minutes. Unfortunately, the roommate has some plans for the evening. But let me show you what the place is like, and then tomorrow we're going to go through all the exhibits. So here we go. We got Tudor, Born to there. Then there's these quizzes, but I'm not sure how to do them. You can win a prize, from what I understand. There's the Bouvet Bakery, everybody. This is the Bouvet Bakery. Rolex is here, but I mean, they don't have too much stuff there. Hey, was that Daniel Katz? Hold on a second. Hello to roommate and Audrey. Aw, Daniel. Thank you so much for the super chat. Here we go. So we got Rolex here. This is a repeat of the same exhibition as they had at Watches and Wonders. There we go. That's the Rolex booth. There's the Platona. Now, if we keep going around here on the periphery, time in Dubai is 1641. Yes, it is. We got Chanel right here. I tried to go inside Chanel, but unfortunately at that time they told me 10 minutes wait. We'll go inside tomorrow. So that's Chanel for you. Then we go around here. They got more cafes and stuff. Let's see. Original OC is in the chat. OC VIP. What is this? Ulysses Nardin. So here you guys can see. This is Ulysses Nardin. Some have bigger booths than others. I think this is just a cafe, but Chanel, this is Ulysses Nardin. Let's see, guys. See, should we take a look at that? Looks pretty dark in there. Oh, we'll go tomorrow. Let's see here. Got more stuff going on. It's weird building construction.
Pardon?
Here we go. There's a twist. Oh, twisting food in progress. What does that even mean? Twisting food. Okay. Now, I will go through the center for you guys in a couple of moments. Let's first get the entire tour of what the place looks like. Here we go. Here's a Gerard Perregaux. They got a big booth. Kitchen. Here you can check the menu. MJ, how are you doing today? We got 4 CDs. Have you seen Paul and Spencer? No, I haven't. I haven't seen the British crew. I did see Rick from Scottish Watches. Some more food that way. A guy in a blue shirt who loaned Bamford the suit. Bamford doesn't like me. I wonder why. What did I ever do to him? What is this? Ahmed Siddiqui and Sons. Oh, wow. Okay. This is like their main boutique, I guess. This is the watch box of the thing. Audemars Piguet. By the way, guys, I got a really juicy bit of information here. Got a very juicy bit of information. AP. You wanna go inside? Yeah? Yes? Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Here we go. Alright. Okay, let's just go into AP, right? Oh, what the hell?
Very easy to use, better for the diary. And also, if we set the hours and bring the minute meter on, you can print everything inside. Because all the parts go on the center computer, and you break everything. And with this one, we have some securities to protect the mechanism.
I'll tell you an interesting story about this one. The Shah of Iran is dead. The Shah of Iran, the king of Iran, the former king of Iran. The Shah of Iran. Right? His father, either him or his father, ordered a bunch, and they actually had to buy someone else to actually set it for them. That's right. And because of this brand history that they had, actually Shah of Iran was one of the first people that ordered white gold, because it was difficult to produce in steel. I'm showing it, they had about 28 gold. Yeah, the story is, I read somewhere that they sent a watchmaker to set their time.
The watch maybe it's better. Yeah. And you have the beauty of the mechanism on the other side. So this one is the Universal. It's another watch from 1893. You have to show me.
Can I see that as well? Wow. It's wild. So all of this was like miniaturized into a Coda Lamb 59? Wow.
And the art beam
Yeah.
When you do the miniaturization of the mechanism, sometimes it doesn't work.
Right.
Because it's too small.
Oh.
But here, they're right to do something good.
I like what's on your wrist. Very, very pretty.
Yeah, of course.
It is really.
It's actually, it's the prototype. It's in platinum. We use platinum, why? Because platinum is the most material for the image repeater. You have to extrude it to ink. After, we launched this watch in titanium. Titanium is
Could I see that? This is a minute repeater chronograph?
minute repeater chronograph and tourbillon.
Whoa, oh, it's heavy. This is platinum?
Yes.
Oh
It's
my god.
The prototype in platinum.
Wow. Is it functional? Is it working? The minute repeater? Is it possible to listen? Wow. This is insane.
Je vais aller après avec Nicolas.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Thank you. Wow. You see that? It weighs like a ton. It's so concentrated in that one little thing. Whoa. Hello. Hello. I'm live on YouTube. Is it okay if you guys show me what's happening here? Yeah?
So here we are explaining a bit about actually watches are mainly round. If I take this example, for example, this is from 1949.
Yes.
It's a very nice round watch.
Oh,
But
18.
if we look on the side,
Yes.
it's more complex than that, because you see the Pacific lugs.
Oh, yeah.
The traditional finishing at AP, that is the satin brush and polish.
Yes.
That enables us to play with the light.
Mm.
And this is something that we always wanted to have on our watches.
Mm-hmm.
And when we wanted to create a new round watch,
Yes.
we have a round watch.
Yes.
But how do we do it?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. How can we do it to have the watch and play with the light? Because if we have just one surface that is flat like this,
Yes.
you just have one type of decoration.
Right.
But if you have an octagonal shape like this one, then you can have some.
You can have a lot of facets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Facets to play with light. But then the tricky part was, how do we put these two together?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't do it actually.
Find a way of having the case like that. You can see
Whoa.
how we can play with the light, with different finishing. And the
Wow.
trick is that
Oh,
we have the illusion that it's fixed here.
Yes.
No. We have the case back, a middle case.
Whoa.
And the middle case is actually, you can see well with the facets.
Can I? Let's see. If I move this here. Let me see. Whoa.
And then we have the bezel. That have the lugs that are soldered to the bezel.
Can I see that?
Yeah, a tricky part to do.
Oh.
Because Because usually we attach the lugs to the middle case.
Right, exactly. So this is what I'm saying. That's why whenever I looked at Codeland 59s, the bottom part of the lug always looks like it's not attached to the
And
case.
it's not attached.
Because it isn't attached. What?
And why did we do that? Because then
Yeah.
it enabled us to have the full view on the
Mhm.
decoration.
Mhm.
Even if I assemble the case, you see through the horn,
Oh.
so that you can have
Then
the
you-
view on the horn.
Whoa. And this is the full case now
Yes.
constructed.
Yeah, of course, without the gas.
Without, yeah, obviously, without the gaskets, without the crystal. But
yeah,
all
that's the
the,
principle.
this is the, basically all the gold that's in the case.
Yeah. And actually, the watch is then on the finished watch.
Mhm.
You can see here the illusion that we have something attached on both sides.
Yes.
But actually, you could place a piece of paper here. Just.
What?
And that's an open work tourbillon.
Wow, this is a wild one. Oh my god,
There
yeah.
is another element interesting with the watch is that.
Mhm. Do you have like a cloth? Sorry, do you have a cloth? Sorry. Oh yeah. Okay, thank you. Just gonna
What is
wipe
interesting
it.
also with the watch is that
Yes.
as we see, for example, the phone that you have.
Yes.
We want to have the screen that goes up to the edge.
Yes.
We don't want to have a border. So here it was the same with the dial. We
Mm.
wanted to have a very thin bezel so that we can play and have the full, for example, view here on the movement or on the dial. Like for example, the one I have here.
Oh, that's the
It's
aventurine.
Aventurine dial.
Wow. That's incredible. You're right. It goes all the way to the outsides. And then you're using every little millimeter of the surface area of the dial.
Of the watch, yeah. To be able
Wow.
to-
And even when I looked at the case construction, there's reinforcements on the inside of the case, and it allows the crystal to flow all the way to the end.
The thing is that the crystal is
Uh-huh.
also double curved.
Oh, that's the infamous crystal. Whoa! I love seeing the illusion, the like the reflections it creates. But this is how it
It's
actually.
better to see it in real so that you can understand the different contortion that there is on the curve that there is in the crystal.
What there is? How does watchmaker even know which way to put it in? This is
It's a bit tricky. I'm not a watchmaker, so you shouldn't ask me.
unbelievable. Because when it's a round crystal and it's even on all sides, it's easy. But this thing, so like you guys can see it, it's thick on this side and then it tapers in here and then it becomes thick again.
Then it enables us to do like a magnifying glass on the dial.
Wow, unbelievable. Let me show you guys. This is a friend of mine almost bought this one. He should have pulled the trigger. I told him, do it. Wow.
And at the end, it is a really nice collection that when we came up with it in 2019,
Yes.
it was already 13 references.
Yeah.
Now we began to play a bit even more with introducing also some other complications of types of other ways of telling the time, such as, for example, the star wheel.
Yes. Oh, I love the star wheel.
And I have a mock-up here to
That's-
understand a bit better.
This is the mock-up.
Because it's quite simple.
Yes.
You read the time from here, the minutes, from 0 to 60. Here it
Well.
is 4.
Oh,
Advances,
whoa.
4:30.
Yeah.
And when it's 59.
And now the 5 is here.
Because it's 4:60, so it's 5.
That's so cool.
And you just read only the time.
You just read what's up here. It's actually easier to read than a normal watch because your time reading is at 12 o'clock. You just look at 12 o'clock and you see it.
The moment you get used to it, it's easy.
Yeah,
And
it's brilliant.
this was also a mechanism that could be found in old pocket watches.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, they would hide everything else. So
Yes.
it would become the mystery of how come that the hour is here and then the next one is here. But actually here we wanted also to play with it and to display the disc and the dents that they are doing.
Wow. This is, it's gorgeous. I love Code 1159. This line is incredible. And I can't wait to see
And then we
it.
wanted to come back with the star wheel because
Yes.
the first time we came it was in '91, and then we didn't do that much. Other brands did.
Right, that is, you know what I was saying. So I've been doing the show for 3 years, and the entire time I was like, man, there are independent watchmakers like Urwerk that built their entire careers based on the watch that you guys created back in 1990s.
But then we wanted to have the watch to fit this complication, this type of time, of showing the time, because
Yes.
it wouldn't fit in a Royal Oak.
Right.
It would not be
Yeah.
good because you don't mix all the shapes like that.
Right. It's too.
But in the code, with this huge space that we have,
Mhm.
this was the watch for it.
Oh my god. This is stunning. Stunning. I really love this tourbillon. Oh my god. This is incredible. Uh-oh. My audience is warning me that my wife might leave me if I if I stick around for too long. But I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow for round 2. What's your name?
Raphael.
Raphael, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're
for
welcome.
showing me this. I really
Pleasure.
appreciate it. There you go, guys. Maybe you'll learn something about Code 1159. The watch kicks ass. All right, let's go this way. Whoa.
Olive needs to show me this for real. You know, he needs to take it out of the window, let me play with it.
Oh.
It's not running.
Actually, all the watches, some of them, yes, some of them.
Yeah, it's not
We are
running.
not opening
You know,
it.
this they give it with a yellow strap too.
Wow.
I know.
That's the new concept. Whoa. Alright, guys. Which way? It's clearly. It's not this way. Yeah, I don't know what is going on. It's a maze. A maze of mirrors. Here we go. Whoa. Uh-oh. This is gorgeous stuff, yeah. Wow. Wow. Oh my god. Jesus. Guys, I mean, this is some ridiculous stuff in here. Some of these Royal Oaks are off the rails. Okay. Oh. No way. Oh, that's the rainbow, right? Oh, no way. So they got the entire rainbow here, guys. Full pavé. Look at this. Blue. The ice. How insane is that, guys? I got this one. This is my favorite one. I don't know, in video it's very hard to capture, but what an actual F, guys. Serious piece. Shout out to MD Chaz for $2 super chat. Great content, Tim. There's gonna be more content tomorrow. It's just I needed a day to like orient myself. But I'm gonna show you guys everything there's to see here and more tomorrow. Stick around. Look at this. I mean, they got every color. Look at this one though. Yo. That is so rich red. This one is like pink comparatively. It's too much bling, you think? You guys think? It's the entire rainbow. You see that? You guys understand what a rainbow is? It's a rainbow, iced out to the fucking gills. Those APs are iced out to the gills. Whoa! Oh, no way. That's the watch OC warned us about. It's got the bezel out of bulk metallic something something. You guys remember? What is the bezel here? Look at the bezel. Yo, bulk metallic something. Yo. The way the bezel stands out is insane. It's like black polished. I bet it scratches easily, but hey. Look at this. Bulk metallic glass. Thank you, Boston. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at this one. Gorgeous. Man, there's so much incredible diamond work. And look at this. Yo. Let's see what oh. Look, there's gems. We'll take an in-depth look at all of this tomorrow, guys. Oh, I know. Oh. Wow. It's like a bar area here. Pretty cool. I'll probably bring the roommate here tomorrow. She can stay here. Hi. Thank you. Whew. Hey, well, it's just a quick sneak peek look at AP. We got Bulgari right there. Bulgari. Looks like stuff is going on. Bulgari. All right, and then we got Hublot. A blowout brand. Hublot. And all right, and it's like roommate moved out. Okay, guys. Hey, so cool. And there's Chopard here. Chopard. Look at that. Chopard. All right. Oh shit. Man. Whew. Anyway, so we got Hublot, Chopard, and then there's a Van Cleef. Van Cleef and Arpels right here. Man, you could really kill yourself here walking. All right. Now, I'm just gonna give you a quick look around, and then tomorrow we're gonna go in depth, all right? Oh, thank you. Bernard Bertou, Rechepi. Oh. Hey, I'm back. Okay, thank you. I'm actually live on YouTube right now. Sorry. Sure. Is it okay if I show them the watch? Yeah? Cool. The infamous LV collab. I guess it's gonna be one of those things that might as well, right?
So that this that's
What is that? Which one are you wearing? Oh yeah. Oh. Is that what is that? What? Let's see who can recognize it. I got some expert viewers. They might know what it is. It looks like what is that?
It's vintage.
It's vintage?
No, it's not. It's a brand vintage.
Oh. Oh. Vintage. Wow. Near the end, right? Ah. Interesting. You trying it out or just getting some inspiration, yeah? Yeah? Nice.
I don't have watches for me.
Yeah.
I don't have.
Yeah.
No, the way that I have my watches too. I don't wear that much my watch.
Yeah.
But I live there now here on the show. People can see it. You can wear something else.
If you're wearing your watch, people are just gonna complain like, "Oh, look at this! He's holding back stock. He's holding back watches." So really. No? We got a lot of fans of yours who are watching. Oh yeah, we're huge fans. It's a small channel, but a lot of really dedicated people. Actually, I've already seen pictures of this watch because a friend of mine, Jay Hunt, he already met you. He took pictures, and he's starting the Barossa. Huge supporter. But hey. Let's see it, guys. Oh.
It's very heavy.
Can we see it? Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's see it. What do I think? It's actually
It's heavy,
it
right?
packs a punch. It packs a punch. Wow, it's a lot better in person.
Yeah, but actually it's still the prototype, so anyway.
Ah.
It's heavy. It's very heavy. Platinum gold.
All right, let me show it to you guys. So, here we go. I'm not. Okay, listen. Just trying to build some rapport. They're criticizing me already. Oh yeah. Dude. What do you think, guys? I told you guys were wrong. It's a really nice watch. And of course, it's got that back, the chronograph, enamel. By the way, inside here, it's very hot.
I can't show. I have to be honest with everybody. If I'm showing to you, how I can say no to him. How I can say no.
Wow. Unbelievable. Alright. Let me try it on.
Not that bad. She responded directly. Me, no. No, I'm not the best.
I'm here for 2 minutes and it's hot. Alright, I'm gonna try it on. Alright, guys. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so this is on my wrist. What do you mean? Whoever's saying that it's too big or too thick is ridiculous. All right, because it's kind of same size as the Daytona, to be honest. It's like same size. Let's do. There you go.
For me, it was a try.
All right.
So I try, it's nice, I like it, and I say, why not I put it? No, to say frankly, now I don't show anymore final product. Because every time we show it, people scratch or... you know,
Not everyone is careful.
Huh?
Some people are so careful.
No, the thing is, you're doing a case by hand, right? So you don't want people like that. Oh, okay. This way, you know.
Like this one.
No. No, this one is for this. You know, I don't care. I can drop. It's okay. You know.
So what was the inspiration behind the case?
So it's kind of, I don't know if you see, but you have the tambour shape. So it was really the challenge. So we tried to redesign a little the tambour case.
Oh, okay.
And we worked very hard.
And now these lugs, these are like your lugs. Good.
Yeah. So we did for this design.
So it's like a blend of tambour plus Reshepi case. Yeah. A lot of people, they're freaked out. They don't know, they're so scared of these lugs. Because in pictures, you get a big blown up picture, they look really sharp.
No, but in race it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this. As you can see, it's not a scary watch, nothing to be scared of. Relax, everybody. Ask him how much freedom did LV give him for designing this watch, if any. I think you get full freedom, right? This is like everyone is.
You know, we don't love constraint anyway. The only concern was to respect, still to try to respect the top of the game.
Yeah. You know, they're very skeptical. They don't believe, you know, the whole Privia Louis Vuitton collab. A lot of viewers, you know, just.
No, I think.
Yeah. How do you prove it?
Sorry.
How would one go and prove to just, you know, general people out there that this collab is good for you?
No, I think doesn't matter. What is really important?
Yes.
You know, actually, I did. You know, I'm doing I have brands. I have a good shop. I have my challenges.
Yes.
And I think I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, whatever. If people like it, they like it. If they don't like it, I can totally understand.
Yeah.
But it's most important for me, you know, to thinking long term.
Yes.
And today, I was happy to do this project. It's technically it's a real challenge.
Yeah.
We do 10, and I'm happy with this. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, when you're doing like different collection for a company, I don't know, you're doing different collections. You don't have to like everything.
Right. Yeah. There's like some people, everybody likes AP, but they don't like Codeland 59.
Yeah,
So.
it doesn't matter. But honestly, for me, it was a good collaboration because again, I met this guy. He's a nice guy. We started to discuss, and I said, why not? You know, nobody really expect to having like a collaboration. It's fun, you know. It's just surprising people and.
Yeah, nobody sees because nobody thinks of Louis Vuitton as a watch company. They never seen LV as a watch company per se, but they could become a curator of like other watch brands. They already got, you know, Daniel Roth, all these brands that Waco talked about. It's serious stuff. So.
No, but actually, yeah, for me, it's just a good experience, right?
Yeah.
I just appreciate what I'm doing. I think the choices they did, for example, supporting young watchmakers, I think also is nice. People can say, you know, they have interest for this and this. For sure, life is like this. Unfortunately, everybody has.
You know what you say to those people is just go start your own watch company.
Huh?
Or just tell them go start your own watch company, and you'll be able to do whatever you want. Maybe you can win the prize, guys. everybody's a critic, you know. You know
No,
what I mean?
I think it doesn't matter. I think you're doing something. If it corresponds to somebody, okay. If not, so it's okay. But again, for me, when I started, for 3.5, 3 years, it was tough. And I would love at this moment to have somebody that can help me, maybe give me the possibility to win a prize or something like this, to maybe help me to do I don't know, like some buying some machines or buying some tools. And again,
you can always use a few more tools, you know, to make more varied, you know, piles or parts. Right? So
again, when you're building a company or when you're building a movement, it's different challenge. It's really different challenge. It's not just only decoration, or it's not. You're building. You go, you have the idea, you're making the searching, you try, you do your prototypes, have to work. It doesn't work, you have to redo, and after that, it has to have a good look, right?
Right.
So anyway,
it's not enough just to make something. It's make it appealing. And you got a winning recipe here. I mean, you're freaking killing it, aren't you?
personally, I like, so after that, it doesn't matter really. You know, it's important that some people like, because you know this is what makes us living at the end.
Yeah. Exactly. Beautiful watch. This is the only one, the only watch one, right? The only watch. Let's see here. Check this out. I was doing a live stream like this one time, and the gentleman came to me with an Acrivia watch, and he took it off, handed it to me, and then walked off. We couldn't find him for 15 minutes, and one of my viewers was telling me, Tim, you make sure that watch doesn't go missing, because if it does, that's a that's a really important watch.
Good to see you. Congratulations.
Look at this.
Thank you very much.
This is the only watch, guys.
Yeah, very well.
Look at that. This is very light. Now I can feel the difference between this one. Yeah, it's beautiful. And yet still you guys were able to come up with a unique case-shaped design. It's gorgeous. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. I'll give you my card. I would love to have you on the show someday to talk watches. Let's see, where is it at? If you got nothing going on, just a second, where did I put my card? Oh. What?
C'est une anti-magnétique, c'est vraiment le concept. J'ai mal compris. Non, tu peux porter, mais pour moi, il faut la porter avec le cœur. Oui, c'est ça.
Wanna do it again? Wow. It's like having an open and closed case back at the same time. Wow.
You know, it's like bayonet we call it. Yeah. Actually, it's really nice. It's kind of inspiration of knives.
I like that better than a hunter's case bag, because those hunter case bags.
It's more tool watch.
Yes. The other one, I feel like it's gonna break.
How are you? When I came to Geneva, you were very busy. You were finalizing the only one, and you were with
How is your shop?
Very good. Last time you were with us. I know. And it talks about all the time.
Wow. Thank you very much. By the way, here you go. Maybe someday he'll come on my show, okay? All right, well, I appreciate your time. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow. All right, cool. Thank you. All right. Excuse me, guys. Actually, running very low on time here. There's a Konstantin Chaikin. There we go. Hello, sir. I got Konstantin Chaikin. We got Maurice Grossman. Hello. Hello. Let's see. Biver. Got Biver. Mr. Biver was here earlier today. Dubathune. Where's Tim Mosso? What else we got here? Oh, MBNF. MBNF. We got MBNF. What else we got here? There's a GPHG. By the way, it's got all the watches from GPHG. Oh, this is something else. Super. Oh, they took them off. Okay, never mind. Okay, there's the Urwerk. Again, we'll come back tomorrow. Anyway, it's good. And there's even more watches that way. Okay, let's go back. Boston Collector. Boston Collector, thank you for the super chat. I'll definitely ask him tomorrow. Would love a prototype myself. Don't mind if I do. And Diego, $2 super chat. Ask if season 1 shift Succession was pretty. Oh my god. Guys, these are a little bit too late. Let's go. Well, listen, we'll be back tomorrow for a much longer interviews and stuff. Just really. Let's see. I think I should just have enough time. The roommate's gonna murder me. You think she left me? Ooh. Oh, roommate. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, guys. Upload the stream, and I'll see you tomorrow for the good part. Okay. Actually, maybe I should just follow along, give you guys a little bit more tour. I'll show you a little bit more. My watch channel, you just passed the GPHG watches that won the awards. Yes, we're gonna go back tomorrow to see all the watches. Actually, it's gonna be a long day, so get ready. So I think the roommate wants to go to the Museum of Future or whatever it's called. It's this building right there in the distance. That place. But I'm not sure how we get there. Sam D says, Timmy, take melatonin around 10 milligrams. Maybe it'll help you get your jet lag. Get it, GNZ store. Hey, roommate. Do we have melatonin? Huh? You okay?